Now at 5, a milestone in the pandemic. No more COVID patients at Joplin's Freeman Hospital.
Russian military pressure continues in Ukraine despite signaling their troops would pull back. I'm Skylar Henry in Washington as leaders from Ukraine meet with lawmakers here on Capitol Hill.
A new immunization could protect babies from the potentially deadly virus RSV. Annalise Preston with a look at the drug and how soon it could be available to families.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
For the first time in 2 years, Freeman Health System announces it has no COVID patients. This is KOAM News at 5. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky joins us in the studio now with more.
Dow, it was an emotional day for healthcare professionals at Freeman. After battling the pandemic for the past 2 years straight, Freeman healthcare workers can return to a state of normalcy. Their last COVID-19 patient was released yesterday. Now, their COVID unit can be opened up to non-COVID ICU patients. For one nurse who's been through it since the beginning, she says being at this point is unreal.
For the longest time, every day we'd have multiple patients just crashing and having to, do all the things for them, and just all the alarms going off, all the patients needing help, and just trying to get everybody taken care of, and to now, just kind of feel a little bit of peace back here. It's unreal.
Paula Baker with Freeman Health System says she knows there will be COVID patients again in the future, but added they're more ready and equipped than ever to handle it. I'm Bronte Sorotsky for KOAM News.
Bronte, thanks. Missouri Governor Mike Parson declares an end to the COVID-19 crisis in the state. In a news briefing this afternoon, Parson said effective this coming Friday, local health departments will transition to an endemic response. Universal contact tracing will be discontinued, and response to the virus will be based on community levels. Parson says this new approach will be flexible, allowing for accommodation should COVID cases surge. We're going to hear from the governor at 6, and you can listen to the entire news conference on the KOAM News YouTube page. President Biden is touting his administration's new one-stop online resource to deal with the risks of COVID-19. The website, covid.gov, is a one-stop online resource for information about vaccines, tests, treatments, and masks. It also features a new Test to Treat locator tool to help people access the more than 2,000 locations that offer COVID-19 tests and antiviral pills. A bit more rain out there. Let's check in with Doug Heddy.
Yeah, after all the showers, the thunderstorms we had last night, we are dealing with much colder temperatures across the region, plus the light showers, which continue to work through. Look at the thunderstorms last night, the second batch along and south of I-44 all the way into the morning hours, and then just kind of light showers and drizzle for us today. We do have some pockets within this batch that is rotating through that we are getting some sleet pellets. But where you see the yellows, that's where we are seeing some little moderate bands of showers. This is not going to last long. This is going to stick around for the next 2 hours or so. And then all these showers will start to rotate out of here. And then we actually clear out a little bit later on tonight, which is going to be nice. Through the evening hours, we slide back through the 40s into the 30s. Cold night, near freezing, but more rain chances, maybe a little bit of snow in the forecast. Well, look at that coming up here in just a bit.
Wow, see you then. Thanks, Doug. Shelling continues in parts of Ukraine despite Russia's claims it would pull back its military. Now U.S. intelligence warns Russia's President Vladimir Putin may feel misled by his own military commanders. Comes as the U.S. has promised to send $500 million in aid directly to Ukraine's government. Skylar Henry reports from Capitol Hill.
A U.S. official tells CBS News there's tension between Russian President Vladimir Putin and his military leaders, and that Putin may be misinformed about the poor performance of Russia's military and the economy.
One of the Achilles heels of autocracies is that you don't have people in those systems who speak truth to power or who have the ability to speak truth to power. And I think that is something that we're seeing in Russia.
Ukrainian officials say airstrikes continue in the northern city of Chernihiv and near the capital, Kyiv, just a day after Russia claimed it would drastically reduce military operations in those two regions.
Our best assessment is less than 20% over the last 24 hours now we've seen to start to reposition.
In a nearly hour-long phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky Wednesday, President Biden discussed security assistance and pledged to provide $500 million directly to the Ukrainian government. Here on Capitol Hill, a top U.S. military commander told a House panel that Russia's war in Ukraine could lead to a change in posture for troops in Europe.
This is an opportunity as a result of this senseless act on behalf of Russia to re-examine the permanent military architecture that exists not only in Eastern Europe, but in our air policing activity in aviation and in our standing naval maritime groups.
Earlier, a group of lawmakers met with members of Ukraine's parliament.
They are courageous, they are resilient, and the United States stands with them.
The United Nations now says 4 million people have fled Ukraine since Russia's invasion began, creating a massive refugee crisis. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Members of the House and Senate are receiving separate classified briefings on the situation in Ukraine. While relations between the U.S. and Russia are unraveling here on Earth because of Ukraine, for now it's still business as usual in space. Today, a Russian Soyuz capsule landed in Kazakhstan, bringing 2 cosmonauts and an astronaut home from the International Space Station. NASA's Mark Van High spent 355 days in space. That's longer than any other American in a single mission. A little bit later, a new type of online scam.
Did you happen to get a text from yourself? I'm Laura Podesta with the warning about a new scam and what experts say you should do.
But first, a possible vaccine against the potentially deadly childhood disease RSV.
Aaron Sachs and Associates.
Topping today's Health Watch, every year, tens of thousands of children are hospitalized and hundreds die from a common respiratory virus called RSV. Well, now researchers in Chicago are testing what could be the first immunization against that potentially deadly illness. Elise Preston has more.
It's a leading cause of hospitalization among babies in the United States, respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. Premature babies are the most vulnerable.
It turns out because most babies are born healthy, most infants who are admitted to the hospital with RSV infection are actually previously healthy.
Now, researchers at Lurie Children's Hospital of Chicago are testing the first potential immunization against RSV for healthy babies, the monoclonal antibody nirsevimab.
There's a better binding to the RSV virus, and so it is better at preventing the virus from attaching to and getting into cells where it can cause disease. The second modification that was made was to allow it to stay in the bloodstream much longer.
A recent phase 3 study found a single dose of nirsevimab was nearly 75% effective against serious RSV infections. Currently, the only preventative treatment available is only for high-risk babies. They receive several injections of a drug called palivizumab during the winter months. Devin Lindsay's 10-month-old daughter, Cameron, is taking part in the study.
I had spoken to a lot of my friends have young children, and some of them have unfortunately gotten RSV before, and they've been hospitalized or just been sick.
Cameron received her dose in October last year, but her family doesn't know yet if she got the actual drug or placebo.
One day it's going to be really cool to tell Cameron like she was a part of this study that's going to help hundreds of thousands of children.
Researchers say if nirsevimab receives FDA approval, it could be available by the 2023 respiratory virus season. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
Researchers say no safety concerns have been identified with their experimental treatment. A large Japanese study finds moderate to vigorous physical activity may significantly reduce the risk of disabling dementia in men. The study tracked nearly 44,000 older adults with follow-ups after 10 years. Researchers did not find the same benefits for women. And a Spanish study finds prescribed caffeine consumption can increase attention and memory retention capacity in people with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Researchers caution, though, it's too soon to say if caffeine could be helpful to people showing extra hyperactive or impulsive symptoms. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, our pet vet on call.
Today from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to talk about drinking milk with your dog.
Plus more showers sticking around throughout the evening hours. We're going to look at that forecast coming up.
Kissin' 92.5.
Well, it's definitely turned out to be a very wet day for us today. Showers, thunderstorms, periods of storms throughout the overnight hours into the morning hours today, and then mainly just kind of lighter showers for us today. Dreary cold front rolled through, so temperatures have been dropping throughout the day. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, right on the west side. Look at our temps. It got cold. We're sitting mainly into lower 40s across the region. We'll drop back into the lower 30s later on tonight. Here's that cold front that barreled through earlier today. So now we have those strong northwesterly winds at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. And then you can look at our wind gust. We're still getting gusts in that 20 upwards to 30 mile per hour range. And that's what we're going to see as we go through the evening hours. 7th range line. It is wet. Currently outside it's at 42. Our humidity is up there at 85%. Through the evening hours, showers continue. It's mixed in with sleet too, so you are going to get some sleet pellets through some of those bands. We're going to slide back through the 40s into the lower 30s a little bit later on tonight. But bands of showers and thunderstorms last night. We had them across southeastern Kansas, and then we got a big batch late last night along and south of I-44, and we had quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings across the region. Now we're dealing with these light showers, but where you see the heavier echoes where you're picking up the yellows, that's mainly sleet. So pockets of sleet mixed in, one little pocket right on the west side of Joplin, east of Neosho down toward Grand Lake as well. And these aren't going to last long, only for the next couple hours, and then they're going to be out of here. Look at our rainfall amount. So it's heavy in southeastern Kansas, heavy southwestern Missouri, and then a big window of not that much rain during the overnight hours, but we're still going to get those on and off showers over the next few hours. All the severe weather now down through Mississippi, parts of Louisiana, heading away from us. Here's our next little band. This is going to rotate in tomorrow, giving us additional showers across the region. Let's go through time. Most of these showers out of here by 8 p.m. We start to clear out. Temperatures take a dip into lower 30s. Here come the clouds again tomorrow morning. We get our next little wave. This rotates in. This is going to be showers mixed in with sleet, actually snow. So very similar to what we're getting now with the sleet mixed in. So showers through late morning, early afternoon, and then by evening, we'll get a little bit of sunshine and our temperatures will warm a bit. 33 to start, 40 by noon, high temp right around 46. Even though we are going to have snow mixed in, it's not a big deal. It's too warm. We clear out tomorrow night. Friday in general looks pretty good. We warm up into the 60s, and then we get another wave. Rotates in Friday night into Saturday morning. Another band of showers, maybe even a few little thunderstorms are going to move through. So rainfall amounts, still light rain for us this evening and tomorrow, maybe 1/10 of an inch. And then we could get a quarter, maybe 1/2 inch of rain with the showers that rotate in Friday night. So it stays kind of wet. 46 tomorrow, chilly. Into the 60s Friday and Saturday, near 70 on Sunday, but also thunderstorms return late in the day.
Rain, you throw in a little bit of sleet, a little bit of snow, and then you're talking about temperatures near 70 in a couple of days.
All over the place.
That is spring in the 4 states.
It definitely is, yes.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, details of a new online scam and how to avoid it. First, though, we honor a local World War II veteran. Columbus, Kansas native Harry Bruce served in what would become the U.S. Air Force, served from 1943 to 45. He was stationed in England, France, Belgium, and Germany, and we are proud to salute Corporal Harry Bruce, a 4-state hero.
Doug Henning.
Topping today's Consumer Watch, hiring remains strong across the country, according to the latest payroll report from ADP. Companies added about 455,000 jobs in March. That was slightly more than expected. Leisure and hospitality saw the biggest gains as COVID travel restrictions lifted. Jobs in education and healthcare also increased last month. And the U.S. jobs boom continues. According to new statistics from the Labor Department, there are 11.3 million spots to fill. That's 5 million more than the number of unemployed people in the U.S. The data also shows that more than 4 million workers quit their jobs in February. More unemployment data will be released Friday with the monthly jobs report. The U.S. economy ended last year on a healthy note. A revised reading of the nation's GDP shows 6.9% growth in the final months of 2021. That's according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. It put the nation's total GDP growth for the year at 5.7%. That is the fastest calendar year expansion since 1984. Federal Trade Commission has filed a complaint against the maker of TurboTax, claiming it misled customers with its ads for free tax filings. It accuses Intuit of promising free tax preparation and then hitting millions of TurboTax customers who do not qualify for the free service with charges. Intuit denies the claim and says it's going to fight that lawsuit. A scam is circulating our nation, and it's coming from an unlikely source: your own cell phone number. Reporter Laura Podesta warns us about the phony message and what to do if you receive it.
Chris Welch is an editor and reviewer at The Verge. He normally writes about how technology can help you, but Monday, the latest scam popped up on his phone. A text from himself.
To see it as your own number, there's something weird and kind of unsettling about that. And so I checked on Twitter, I searched, spam own number, and sure enough, it seemed like a big wave of people had just gotten this text.
He said the text congratulates you for paying a bill and includes a link. Chris clicked on it for his own investigation.
So the link in my case took me to the website of Channel 1 Russia, which is like a state media TV network.
The scam is targeting Verizon wireless users. Verizon says it significantly curtailed the activity and in a statement said we're actively working with others in our industry and with U.S. law enforcement, adding we have no indication of any Russian involvement.
Fraud experts say our phones have become the contact method of choice for scammers, and we should treat our phone number the way we do other sensitive information.
The National Consumers League says phishing scams were the third most reported type of fraud complaint in 2021.
Really, just the best advice for most people is just delete the text, ignore it, don't click on the link.
You can also forward the message to the Federal Trade Commission at 7726. Report the phishing scam to local police or your state attorney general, and tell friends, family, and coworkers. Welch says this scam isn't going away quickly. Right after our conversation, he received another text from himself. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Fraud experts recommend you don't show the link you received on social media or anywhere that gives the scammers more exposure. Our Pet Vet on Call is up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, 31 million Americans in the path of severe weather tonight, with threats stretching across the southern U.S. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to check out some of the storm damage left in northwest Arkansas this morning. Plus, we'll hear from the Missouri Governor Parson, who declares an end to the COVID emergency in the state. And we're learning more about the amusement park tragedy in Florida that took the life of a Missouri teenager. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Now, we all have different dietary needs, but what about our pets? Today's question for our Pet Vet on Call: is it okay for dogs to drink cow's milk?
Well, yes and no. It's all like us and this lactose intolerance thing. Here's how it really goes, how we're made. Once you are off your own mother's milk, all you should drink is pure, clean water. However, our society and culture isn't like that. I know a lot of people that would rather drink anything liquid but water. So as long as it doesn't cause issues like diarrhea and loose stools, sure, have a glass of milk with your dog.
Hey, we invite questions from anyone. If you have one, you just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question or brings us a fun fact every Wednesday right here on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. All right, let's check out our picks of the litter for the week. From the Joplin Humane Society, we've chosen this 1 to 2 year old male Labrador Retriever mix. His name is James. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, a 7-year-old domestic short-hair cat, a female named Kit. If you're looking for a pet, why not check out your local Humane Society? They always have a whole lot of great ones. It's gotten cold out there, and it's already been wet out there now.
Yeah, it's cold. It's going to get colder as we go through the evening hours. We are going to have the on and off showers over the next couple hours, mixed in with some sleet. Not a big deal. Then we clear out later on tonight. Then we get more clouds, more showers tomorrow, mixed in with snow at times. Another round of rain Friday night, late Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that kind of, that time of the year.
Stop it.
Yeah.
It'll be nice by the weekend anyway.
Yeah, the weekend
Just the
looks
latter
good.
half of it.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.